I've been at Thunderbird since March of this year, and this is my first time being a guest speaker. Raise your hand. Alright. So, for the people that are going into the military, or actually have served, you guys always know that there's always going to be a guest speaker. He's going to talk about something, and you're probably going to pass out sleeping. So, it's not going to be one of those, right? It's going to be a different one. And that's what they also say too. Trust me, I kind of know that. I've been through a lot of speeches myself. So today, though, and tonight, I kind of want to tell you guys how I kind of ended up in this position, right? In this situation, and you know, my kind of future aspirations going forward, right? No matter how old you are, you know, everybody has a life, and every action that you guys take will impact your life. It could be a bad action, it could be a good action. Fortunately for me, I had to make a lot of actions that seemed scary at that time, like leaving my house when I turned 18. And I was scared. I didn't know what to do. You know, and a lot of the younger, you know, people here, you guys might be in that position one day. You know, when you guys turn 18, or the lady that's what's there that's not there anymore, that's going into the Navy.
I'm not letting you Nobody there.
Yeah. She'll be back in a moment.
Alright, so yeah, everybody can make some hard decision, right? Now, I was born as an orphan. Alright? I was born in a nation that the only way they know that existed is because they watched Borat. Does anyone know the nation I'm talking about? Does anyone see Borat? Borat? No? Kazakhstan. Right? So that's where I was born in. I was an orphan for 6.5 years. I went to 2 different orphanages that I remember. Baby orphanage and then a children's orphanage. Well, Kazakhstan didn't really have a good education system, and it was part of the USSR bloc, and then when it broke down in 1991, you know, Kazakhstan didn't get treated well, right? So the education system there was pretty much the worst that you can imagine, right? I remember that I actually locked out my teacher from the classroom. I don't know how we managed to do that, but we did. There was no books, and you know, I just remember sitting at a desk with a chair. You know, no fancy electronics, nothing like that. You know, and when I got to the States and I was adopted, it had all changed, right? So when I was 6.5 years old, I was adopted by my first American family, which my father is actually right there, Dave. Say hi, Dave. So, they adopted me when I was 6.5, right? Unfortunately, due to the adoption process, I had to go back to Kazakhstan. This is a normal process. The problem was it was like 1.5 years before I saw them again. So you can kind of tell and kind of see the traumatic and the emotional and the psychological issues that is being put up to me, right? You know, me learning a new language, me seeing a different nation, you know, and being taken away and not knowing what could happen, right? That was my first big scary moment. I finally moved back to Ohio, but there was a second major issue now. You know, I was readopted again in Virginia, right? So basically at this point in time, I had 4 homes, and I was not even 9 years old yet, right? And what could go wrong, you know? I'm in America, right? Well, this went downhill after that. My family in Virginia, they didn't like me. They didn't really like raising anybody, really. So they didn't let me socialize. They didn't let me do anything really fun, right?
Little kids gonna get down.
When I was in high school, my principal came to me personally and he asked me if I could join the Army JROTC at that high school. I had to tell him no, because my parents would not let me do any extracurricular activities. So everyone that's a Civil Air Patrolman here, right, thank your parents, because they do support you guys, and you guys do a lot of things that are not just in school, you know. So give them a nice clap of hands for your parents, all right? they mistreated me, how they neglected me, because that's not the point of tonight's story. However, though, I will say that I got to a point that it got so bad that I made a decision to leave my house when I turned 18. Because I knew that my father, if I should call him that, in Virginia, not heaven. I knew that he would frame me for something and I'd probably end up in jail, right? Now, in this kind of scenario, right, when I turned 18, I was supposed to be the valedictorian in my high school. Now, I'm not smart, alright? Not by a long shot. But the only thing that I could remember was all the books I read. That's really it. I didn't watch TV. I didn't play out. I didn't go to parties. I didn't even have a girlfriend because I couldn't have one. So the only thing I can remember and kind of like repeat myself every night is schoolwork, right? That's how I was a valedictorian, you know, education and plus remembering what happened in college and stuff. Well, that was also cut short too. I only did 3 years of high school, but I still graduated with a high school diploma in an advanced degree. How did I do that? The good support from the school, you know. But the one thing that I always wanted to do, you know, be a valedictorian in my high school, that didn't happen. You know, it was really sad because to me, I thought that was the one thing that my parents in Virginia could not take away from me. You know, it's your education. Unfortunately, due to a circumstance, you know, I couldn't do my 4th year, so now I don't have a scholarship. You know, I don't have an extra year of planning. Hey, what am I going to do with my future? So next thing I knew, I went back to Ohio. You know, the family in Ohio, the Bartees, they always loved me. They never wanted to give me up. It was not their choice to give me up. And they did their best to kind of groom me, get my 18 years of my social skills back as possible, and I joined the Air Force. Probably the reason why I joined the Air Force, and this is kind of the same theme as you probably noticed, education. I want to go to college. I want to prove everybody that hated on me, that didn't like me, that you can be whatever you want to as long as you put your mind to it. That's it. You know, and I kept that aspiration. Right? I got my associate's degree in 2 years while in the Air Force. Now, for people that may not know how long it takes an associate's, if you go to college today, it takes 2 years to get an associate's degree. I was able to get it in 2 years, plus have a full-time job, plus do all the other things I have to do in the military. So you can do whatever you want to. It's all how much you got to put your effort into. Currently, I'm about 6 classes away from a bachelor's, and my future goal is to either become an officer, or hey, if not, do my 20 years in the military. Leadership. So my first news station, by the way, was in McConnell Air Force Base in Kansas. You might have been to Kansas. How's Kansas? Boring. Exactly. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah. Yes, very flat. Yeah, and there's tumbleweeds. That's legitimately for sure. And you think people don't know how to drive in Vegas? Well, they don't know how to drive in Vegas. So at least Kansas is a little bit better. I mean, they still can't drive, but whatever. When I was stationed in McConnell, I had a lot of my firsts, right? When you're 16 years old, you know, you probably want to drive a vehicle, right? I didn't drive my vehicle until I was 19. I didn't get my driver's license until I was 19. I wrecked my first car, and I kind of learned how to drive afterwards. Didn't really get along with my peers, and I realized I had another big issue. My career in the Air Force was being threatened. My commander, he pretty much said, hey, you're doing an outstanding job. You know how to do your job, but we're getting reports that, you know, you're being awkward, socially awkward, things like that. So what do I do about that? Well, like I said, I'm not going to dictate or have somebody else dictate my life. So in 2 years, at the same time frame that I got my associates, I did about 600 hours of volunteer work. The reason for that was simple. To try to socialize and learn how to socialize in every possible scenario. You know, I went to annual awards. I volunteered as an Airman Against Drunk Driving. You know, Habitat Against Humanity, the animal shelter, different scenarios on base. Now, the side effects was I got some awards out of it. That's not why I did that. I did that to better myself so I can be in this position today. Which kind of led me to leadership knew that I had good work ethic to the point where my immediate supervision, they had to tell the superintendent of my squadron to stop putting my name on everything because they knew that I would be able to help out. And then I put on staff in April of 2018, and I realized, well, it's time for me to move on. I made a lot of good friends there. You know, had a girlfriend for 2 years there. Had a lot of good friends, close friends. My best friend actually is still in Kansas. But it was time for me to move on. So I applied to be a Thunderbird. Now everybody that applies for a Thunderbird, it's a rigorous application process. It's not something like, hey, I want to be a Thunderbird, and next day you just get shipped off. No. They only select the best of the best. Sorry. The first time, I didn't make it. I was actually picked as number 2. The number 1 position is actually my counterpart now in the Thunderbirds. And then once again, next year, I applied again and I got picked up like that. Use the paperwork, right? No. If you're a Thunderbird member, anything will be kicked off the team like that. No ifs or buts. In fact, they make you sign a strangers. Went to about 16 different states in just 9 months. It's a whole lot of states to go to. But I think that what you guys need to get from this is don't let the past define you. Don't look too much into the future. Everybody has flaws. Everybody has issues. Sometimes you might have the best life, and you'll hit that road where you're going to be in a situation like I was. What do I do? Just say to yourself, it's alright. It's just what you guys make of it. Always keep your head up high. This world's not perfect. But whatever you guys do, you guys can make it perfect. That's all I really got unless somebody has any questions.
Any questions? Yeah, Thunderbird in the room. Okay, no questions? Come on. Ask him what he does every day.
It depends. I don't know exactly the exact number of air shows we did this year. I want to say about between 30 to 50. But we do travel up to 270 days a year. That's a lot of traveling. Any other questions?
So which pilot is the most annoying?
So,
You don't want to know.
I'm not going to say
Okay, let's turn it around. Which pilot is the best?
I would say actually everyone. And I know. So in the military, right? So officers don't really fraternize with the enlisted. It's frowned upon. It's also against UCMJ or the Uniform Code of Military Justice, right? The Thunderbirds are unique. I have never been with a unit where, yes, we respect the rank and we respect them, all that good stuff, but then they will sit next to you that evening playing blackjack with you. I've never seen that in the units. So our officers with the Thunderbirds are kind of different because, number one, we spend so much time together that we kind of break down small barriers. Now obviously we still have to adhere to our code of conduct in the UCMJ, but we're a little closer than your average unit. And two, the officers realize the actual importance of what we do as enlisted, because they fly the same exact plane, and the same exact person is the one touching that plane. So if they don't have a good relationship with that person, can you imagine what can happen? So that's why I say, like, I think all the officers are good.
I have to believe that. And this is the Thunderbirds, right? So.
Now, if you go to any other unit, then you're not going to see that.
What's the history on the number 5? I remember you told me.
So number 5, was back in the day. I forgot what year it was, but there was a guy named Sergeant Sniff. Legend has it that they were about doing an air show, and he was a crew chief at that time, and he thought it'd been a funny prank to paint the 5 upside down on the aircraft. Well, when the pilot got up there, and he realized that he couldn't do anything about it because the air show had to go on. That pilot, after he landed, said that that was probably one of the best air shows that he actually did in all the maneuvers, that they actually kept it like that. And that's the legend. Now, this Sergeant Sniff, he's now civilian Craig. He works with us right now. He's actually our Pratt & Whitney representative. And he's the only old guy, non-uniform, but still wears the Thunderbird patch. Yep, and that's the guy. Now, the official reason is number 5 flies upside down the majority of the time. So it's kind of like when you look in the mirror, right? Everything's flipped, right? Retrospect. It looks like an actual 5 when it's flying upside down. Any other questions?
Everybody's looking at me like I'm supposed to ask another question. Now we'll get them off the hook here. Thank you so much for coming. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Wasn't that awesome? All right, so all of you in here, cadets, I don't want to hear any more excuses. Y'all have to be at least Thunderbirds, maybe if you're lucky, Blue Angels, but that's all. I'm ex-Navy, so that's how it goes. All right, before we start breaking down here, start moving along, I know it's 9 o'clock, so we have to keep chugging along. I have some awards to give out, but I want to just take a moment. None of what we're doing today, none of what we've done, the accomplishments that we've accomplished in the last year and a half, 2 years. I've been in this position now for 2 years, okay? I'm halfway through my command. So I've got another 2 years to go, and I'm looking forward again to all of you being here and being part of my family here, okay? Take care. All right, thank you. Thank you for raising the